Assalamu alaikum नाजरीन, वेलकम टू अनदर एडिशन ऑफ द फायरसाइड चैट विद द डिस्पैचेस। आज हमारे साथ बहुत एक स्पेशल गेस्ट हैं। ही स्पेशल बिकॉज ही इज़ अ वेरी डियर फ्रेंड एज वेल। आपने हमारे पिछले एपिसोड में देखा दैट वी डाइव इनटू द ओल्ड बर्न हॉल एंड लाइफ ड्यूरिंग द 50s एंड 60s। ये एपिसोड और इसका फोकस स्लाइटली डिफरेंट है। Arsalan Kamar, an extremely accomplished young boy, is from the same era as I was at the school, except that his success has been phenomenal after the school. हमारी ज़िंदगी जो है, we've been hitting the walls, we've been trying to make the ends meet, और generally success लोगों की steady होती है, linear होती है, कुछ लोगों की नोज डाइव की तरफ से भी ज़िंदगी चली जाती है। बट अरसलान का अगर आप पाथ ट्रेस करें तो इट्स डिसरप्टिव, इट्स अनप्रेसिडेंटेड एंड इट्स ऑ इंस्पायरिंग। अरसलान, थैंक यू सो मच, आपने वक्त दिया। वी आर हियर एट योर ऑफिस।
थैंक यू
फॉर स्पीकिंग टू अस, फॉर स्पीकिंग टू डिस्पैचेस। We'll get right into the show.
Sure.
Of course, you were with us at Burn Hall. कब आपने ज्वाइन किया था Burn Hall?
I would say 2001. So actually, I hail from.
It's still a long time back.
Yes, it is.
2001 में किस क्लास में आए थे तो?
मैं 8th क्लास में आया था, and basically I hail from Faisalabad.
अच्छा.
And my father always had this dream for us kids to study at a very prestigious institution. And I think I applied for MCJ at the time, and I think a few other schools.
But good thing you didn't go to MCJ. वो आपकी ज़िंदगी का एक regret ही रहता.
Yes, I think I got, as far as I recall, I think I got into it, but because they didn't had day scholar thing going on at MCJ, at least at the moment when we did.
Coming back to Burn Hall.
Yes.
Early impressions. Young boy walks into Burn Hall, that long drive.
So what I would say, the school I came from, LaSalle High School, I was the star at the school.
Acha, you were a star at Burn Hall.
No, not at all. So that's my very clear recollection of Burn Hall. So I was the star at the school, LaSalle High School in Faisalabad. But when I came to Burn Hall, I was just another star among the stars, and that's where I realized how an institution like Burn Hall distinguish itself from every other institution. So everybody in my class, was a star, and some were even much brighter than the others.
They were stars in their heads. कोई star वार तो नहीं.
No, I would say so. Yes, even you were like we all of us knew.
Full of himself, yeah.
Not full of himself, but yes, you were like very good at so many things, and And I would say each one of us, I think, I was actually very awestruck when I came to Burn Hall. Because for me, it was like I had the spotlight in my previous school, but here, everybody was...
Who was your teacher at school? First teachers, कौन थे 8वीं में आपके?
8वीं में, I think, there was Sir Sipte Nabi Elisha, and then I think... I certainly remember the nicknames, but I'm failing to recall their name. There was Tahir Mansoor Shah Sahab.
अच्छा, वो आपको 8वीं से पढ़ा रहे हैं?
Yes.
वाह.
So I remember these. Then we had Sir Bashir Ahmed, so the legendary Bashir Ahmed Sahab.
वाह.
But that I think that was later in 9th or 10th standard. But yes, I would say very fortunate to learn from the legendary teachers. I think we were actually.
Yeah, because ये जिन teachers का आप नाम ले रहे हैं, I think Burn Hall को Burn Hall बनाने में इनका बहुत ज़्यादा किरदार है. Whenever we talk about Burn Hall, we talk about these teachers.
Exactly.
And Burn Hall for us was what it was throughout the generations because of these personalities and these legendary figures on the campus. You walk into Burn Hall, you walk into this class full of snobs. 8वीं के बाद आपने, so it was senior Cambridge or the metric stream?
No, it was the metric, not the senior Cambridge.
और फिर pre-engineering?
Yes, pre-engineering. We were class fellows in pre-engineering, you and I.
Yeah, of course we were.
And I don't know if
2006 में हमने पास आउट हुए हम बर्न हॉल से, और हमने एक अपना ग्रुप भी बनाया हुआ था
Yes.
हाई प्रोफाइल रेड्स के नाम से.
Yes, it was you actually who came up with the concept and the name of the group, and we had some weird rituals at the break time.
Yeah. Something that we will not talk about here.
Yeah.
So you graduate from Burnhall, and some of your friends, I think some of those friends will watch this episode.
I hope so. Really hope so.
No, they will. So कौन दोस्त यार थे आपके?
I think it's like if we start naming the names, it will get messed up. But
these are closest friends in this new school.
I would say it was so my seat fellows were Kaisar Khan, who is now in the army.
Yeah.
There was Noman Khan, there was Awais, there was Bilal Khalid, and you weren't. I think you used to sit. You and your lads used to sit in front of us actually. So we were in the third row.
So you were पिछले स्कूल में भी और बर्नहॉल में भी आप बैक बेंचर थे या आगे बैठना?
No, so I would say in my previous school I was like very well known for academic reasons and you know.
ये बर्नहॉल में तो आपकी जर्नी.
Yes, and I was actually the best debater at the previous school. But then you know, as I've said before, I come to Burnhall and then there is Amar Ziauddin. There are even Noman Khan used to do very good speeches in Urdu, if you remember. And then I saw
Arish Hamid hota tha.
Arish Hamid Rana, and then you know there were our seniors who were very good. I think there was Amir Zaki, I don't know, Amir Shaheen,
हाँ.
Yes, Amir Shaheen.
He's in Facebook, I think right now. वो SF में है, move हो गए थे वो.
Very nice.
जब मैं वहाँ था, मेरी उनसे मुलाकात बहरहाल नहीं हो सकी. बिल्कुल, Zaki Shaheen,
exactly. So as I told you before, I was the star at the school, and now I was just another one, you know, like.
But you turned out to be sort of a bigger star than all of us at the school. उस पे हम आते हैं. So like ये जो आपकी humility for the camera ठीक है. हम आपको कैमरे के बगैर भी जानते हैं और हमें पता है आप एक बहुत शरारती आदमी हैं. So having graduated from school, आपने opt किया to a university, and this is where your journey really becomes interesting.
So I would say I was, and I would say just like everybody else or most of the you know guys of my age, I was very lost at the moment. I didn't know like what I should be doing exactly. So I thought I would go abroad, you know, maybe study somewhere, do some job.
Did you pick up a line for yourself like engineering करनी है या मैंने? So we'll come back to your interest in coding, but what was the degree that you had planned for yourself?
Yes, so that's what I'm getting at. After I graduated from Burnhall, I had no clear vision. I was like, let's go abroad, maybe do computer, maybe do engineering, because that's what was expected of
हर
me.
कोई कर रहा था.
हर कोई कर रहा था. That was like, you do this. So the plan was to go abroad, which didn't materialize for whatever reasons. And then my father insisted that I should apply for some of the universities. Unfortunately, the grades were too low to get into.
Story of our lives, I suppose.
Yeah. Or fortunately, the grades were too low to get into any university.
Yes, I think that's the interesting spin.
So I think I was able to apply at the ComSets for electronics engineering. And I got into it.
Engineering तो तुमने अच्छी choose की थी यार.
Yes, because
what happened in ComStats?
Got into engineering, didn't really know what was going on. First semester failed in 5 subjects out of 6.
Wow.
So
well
yeah, that is. I think I was also eligible for scholarship when I got into the university. But the moment I failed 5 subjects, that was gone. Obviously.
I wonder why. तो उसके अगले सेमेस्टर फिर अगले सेमेस्टर eventually you dropped out.
I dropped out, or I tried to freeze the semester. That didn't materialize, but yeah, I kind of left it, you know, because I wasn't going nowhere. I was a very bad student, never really paid attention in the class because I couldn't really understand what was getting taught and why it was, you know, getting taught. And that has always been kind of a problem / blessing. You know.
आपकी कोडिंग साइमल्टेनियसली चल रही थी, आप डिजाइनर बन चुके थे. So like tell us about your interest in computer.
So that started very early on. I think I clearly remember it was I was in 3rd standard actually.
Achha, very
at
young.
my previous school, and I think I was blessed to be in a school where they introduce kids to programming really early on. and it was Logo Tortoise, actually the first programming language. I just was introduced to it by the school, and I completely fell for it. There
Third
is like
standard, you must be 8. How old were you?
I would say I was 7.
7. Acha.
So at the age of 7, I was introduced, and it was like very fascinating for me. It was like I was in a world which was completely different from the real world, kind of an escape. And I had the ability to develop things, build things in my head, and then try to execute it on a computer. So by the 4th standard, I was learning GW Basic. By 6th, 7th standard, it was C, C++, data structures, and all of that. So I had a life at school, and obviously
there was another life that
there
you
was
were
another
living.
life that was happening in parallel. So I've been very fortunate. My father has been very encouraging when it comes to this
So
stuff.
when you're going through this tough time at the university,
Yes.
and you already have these skills that you've developed as a coder,
Yes.
उस वक्त थोड़ा हमें explain करें what was going through your mind. You're clearly frustrated with your university.
Yes.
You're not able to make sense of your subjects, but then there's another skill that you've developed over a period of time. So what was that time like for you?
So I would say it was not only a skill, it was kind of a passion thing for me, like something I would do at my own time. So coding, programming, tinkering with softwares, tinkering with applications, developing application. And I would like to add this, though I sold my first software when I was in the 9th standard actually, while I was at Burnhall.
Wow,
And it was not even kind of your conventional sale, but it was like I used to get free CDs from Galaxy CD Software House, CD Software, not Software House, but CD House actually, which was in supply, if you remember.
Yeah.
There were kind of few numbered CD rental places in Ahmedabad back then.
बिल्कुल.
So I made a billing sort of thing for the guy, and I used to get free CDs in return. I think by 10th standard, I had sold my first full-fledged software to Pakistan Grammar School.
Acha. And what was the software you developed for that?
It was school management system.
Acha.
And you are surprised because I think most of my class fellows are not aware of this. That was all happening in the background. But I think that I didn't realize at the time, but later on in life, in my professional career, I do realize I have a knack for sales as well. So not only I was developing the software, but also I was able to convince the principal.
Closing the deals as
Yes,
well.
closing the
Meeting
deals
people.
or making the sale, which I think has.
So you had become an entrepreneur. जब हम अंडे वाले बर्गर खा रहे थे.
Yes.
So you were already on your own. You were already on this path that you were on at a very young age.
Yes.
Or you were now sort of closing the deals with people as well. University तक क्या आपका level हो चुका था?
So here's the thing. I didn't know that I was entrepreneur, or I was just a kid who didn't know there were any rules. So like let's do a school management system. Let's go to Sesame School. I think it was the Sesame School in supply as well. Went there, went to Al-Imtiaz Academy. Like, what's going to happen? They're going to say no. Like, I won't be dead.
तुम अपना software लेके उनके पास जा रहे थे?
Yes, obviously. So I was trying to sell it. So I made it. I said like, what the hell? Let's try to sell it. And went to a few schools. Pakistan Grammar School. I think they were the only one who bite. Others were like, it's good and everything, but this, that. And I think I sold it for 15K, which for me was a huge amount.
No, it was a huge amount anyway.
But I think that was a pretty good deal they got.
got, yeah.
Yes, so as I've said, I was a kid who didn't know. Like,
so know any better, know anything else. Arsalan ko maine kaha tha, just be yourself for this interview, and that explains what he's trying to tell us. No rules. And what's that one word that you'll describe your journey, your life philosophy in?
I would say it's rebellion.
Why?
Because I, for some reasons, always had in my nature to question everything. So wear a jacket, wear formal clothes. Why? come at the office
तो
at this
आपको तो
time.
एजुकेशन बहुत टफ टाइम नहीं देता था?
No, but at school
I was, yeah, like I was not, you're not
Yes.
mad, you're a
Yes,
rebel.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think I was too young at that point to, like, I could have questioned, but I couldn't have rebelled. But later on, I realized, okay, like I can tinker around, I can,
So
poke
that
something.
journey of rebellion reflected in your academic progression as well.
Absolutely. So I couldn't really understand what we were learning, why we were learning it, the application.
Decision
of it.
time, you're going to drop out from the university.
Yes. So I had no clue what I would be doing, but I knew this for a fact that I've been wasting my time and my family's resources on the university. And I think that was I thought, let's freeze the semester, maybe circle back in like 6 months, or maybe if I'm lucky after a year, maybe have a go at it again. I didn't know there was a way, because there was a way, which eventually I found out. But yeah, it wasn't like I was calculating this and that. As I've said, I was very lost.
तुम यूनिवर्सिटी में भी थे, तुम साथ अपना तुमने, you were a programmer, you were coding, you're doing all of that on the side while you're at the university.
Yes, I've been involved with a few projects. I would say there was
और freelancing कर रहे थे?
in the local market, unfortunately. So I worked with some big names in Pakistan, and it has been a rather very unpleasant experience. But again, I had nothing to lose. Like, if there was an opportunity, I was trying to chase it. I was trying to have a go at it. So that has always been my mantra, and till this day I don't leave opportunities. Like, I try to have a go at it.
Having dropped out of the university now,
Yes.
we move forward slightly on the timelines. What happens next?
So I was sitting at home. I was at that point involved with the project in the local market. It wasn't a big project, but still it was a project. But still, I clearly remember it was Thursday, and my father came across me, I think, sitting at home or sitting in my room, maybe, and he didn't like that at all, because I have wasted so much time, so many semesters at that point. I think it was 6th semester, and I haven't gone past 2nd semester. But I clearly remember he was very disappointed in me, and I think that was the turning point for me. I think at that point the boy became a man. And the same night I applied through mustaqbil.com at 4 different jobs within, I think there were no jobs in Ep8, at least for software, as a software developer. And I applied at night. I think got responses from a couple of them in the morning actually. And it was Friday. After reciting the Friday prayer, I actually was able to speak with one of the companies, and they had a task for me. And I was done with the task in a couple of hours. They called me again, asked for, all right, how much would you like to charge for this task? It was a paid task. I said, just hire me, that's what I want to. They said, it's done. Like, that was your interview, that was your test. So, but we are asking you if, because that was an extra task, would you like to get paid? And for me, just leaving home and getting a job, that was the thing. I said, say no more. You had me at job,
Very empowering. Yeah.
Yes. So I was at this job in Islamabad, the F6 supermarket. The company's name was Creative International, something.
ये कब की बात है? Salat,
Creative Vision
2010?
International, 2010. I would say October something.
Okay, so
October.
you've started your first job in Islamabad, and you moved away from Ep8 around that time.
Yes, that is correct.
Walk us through your experience of the first job.
So
What was the role you were doing?
So I was hired as a software developer. I won't say mid-level. It was expected to be mid-level, but I was treated as a junior web developer in the company initially. And in the very first day, my boss asked me if I could write proposals. And as I've told you before, I have always felt that I'm good at sales, or I feel like I'm good at sales. I said, yes, I can write. Like, I had no experience of writing proposals. But, again, an opportunity came and I gave it a go. Yeah. And I think the first weekend I was able to get a few projects for that particular company. So now I'm like a developer who's also a business developer for the same company. And within no time, I clearly remember I was the youngest person in the company. I was 22 back then. I mean, we had people like 31, 30, 28. But I think 3-4 months in, I was made the team lead in the same company, which was something that, you know.
And you're just 22 at the time?
I was 22 at that time, and I felt very privileged. But I think there was a very valuable lesson there, because obviously my colleagues who were in the same company for 3 years or longer, they felt rightly offended that, you know, a kid who just came along has been made a team lead in a few months. But I think there I remember this, I got this very valuable lesson that in private sector and in real life, and you know, the only thing that matters is performance. If you can deliver it, you know, if you risk it, you get the biscuit. So I risked it, you know, got my neck out, went for business development, and then, you know, learned a lot of development, and then became a senior developer, team lead, etc. You know, I just took all the opportunities that were, you know.
So you worked for that company for some time before
Yes.
the finding of your final calling, which was Intellect.
Yes, so I worked for my first, at my first job, I worked for 11 months. Then I moved to Faisalabad for another job. I think that was a small gig of some sort that was 4 or 5 months, if I recall it correctly. And I would say yes, it was actually my business partner, who's still my business partner since 10 years now actually. He gave me a call and he was like, you know, you are doing great in everything. And I was like, yeah, you know, apparently I'm quite good at this. And he said, like,
Faisalabad mein,
yes.
At this small, when you say gig, like tell our audiences, what are the different things that you're doing?
So I'm
in this small gig of yours?
I'm the business developer, I'm the lead developer, and like I'm managing clients, I'm hiring for the company.
And at that
managing
time,
resources.
Your clients were predominantly from Pakistan, ya us waqt bhi
No,
aapke?
so since I started the job, it was all international from that point onwards.
Okay.
And up till this day, it's all
Is
international.
day pe aapne hain. Intellect, and it was found and created in
Yes.
Ep8.
Yes.
Why?
So my parents were in Ahmedabad even after I finished
एक तो
school.
हमारी cultural constraints हर जगह आ जाती हैं.
Yes.
He's a guy who's trying to so he's a rebel, right? A romantic rebel, and he's breaking paths. But he moves back to the city where his parents reside. और एबटाबाद कोई पाकिस्तान की सिलिकॉन वैली नहीं है, वहाँ पे और कोई इस तरह की दूर दूर तक निशान ही नहीं है. And you go back to Ep8 and you find Intellect.
Yeah, so the idea was to go back home, and home at that point was Ahmedabad. Well, I would say still is, but that was where my parents were, my family was, and like I grew up in Ahmedabad actually. So I was like a small kid in Faisalabad, but you know, I grew up with my friends.
And you became that man in Ep8 as
Yes.
well after that awkward conversation with your father. So after all those years, you come back, you meet your father, and you tell him that you've created this company and this is where you're going to operate from.
Yes, so
His reaction?
very welcoming, and he was very confident because obviously I've been doing that for some
Aapki
time.
journey, how old are you by this point in time?
I would say 24, give or take.
मतलब it's moving very quickly through the
Yes.
years. 24 साल में मेरी अभी लॉ की डिग्री खत्म हो रही थी, मेरा ख्याल है.
Yes,
अंडरग्रेड के बाद लॉ की. अच्छा, so 24.
So 24, start this company, obviously have nothing going on for us, because before I was working for companies, now it's all on your own. So my partner and my younger brother and his younger brother, we created this company, and like we were the first people, you know, who started all of it.
और जो आप, so you brought your business from your work and you were creating new business?
No, it was all new business because the companies I was involved with, they already had their own accounts and everything.
अच्छा.
So like even if I wanted to, I couldn't bring the clients to my company.
अच्छा, so मैं इसलिए ये बात करना चाह रहा था कि completely आपकी slate clean थी. आप एक company establish की और आपके पास कोई existing business नहीं है.
That is correct.
And you're going to, with your brother, his friend, your partner, you're creating this new company with no business, and you're in Ep8.
Yes, and I think that's why it's called young and stupid, I guess. So we were young and stupid and like fearless at the same time. So if I have to make the same call when I'm 33 now, I think I would think not twice, but like multiple times.
I wanted to ask this question of you, but I thought this will come up a little later. French Revolutionary से जब पूछा गया, would you want to go through this all over again? उन्होंने कहा नहीं.
Obviously.
Would you go through this all over again?
Absolutely. I miss the thrills. I miss so it was like you have to come up every month in order for everything to continue moving forward.
So iIntellect, tell us about the business development, the clients that you had with.
So the first client I got was for iIntellect. It was for myself. It was for $15. It was a client from Germany. And
अगर तूने मुझे नंबर्स देने शुरू किए तो मैं ऑडियंस को बताऊंगा कि इस वक्त अल्फा स्कॉट जिस कंपनी के आप मीम लॉर्ड हैं इसका एनुअल टर्नओवर क्या है. सो ही डज नॉट गो बाय द नेम ऑफ CEO MD, he goes by the name of meme lord. Speaking of a romantic rebel again. अच्छा.
Yes, I think and about that.
बताओ FBR boys को alert करूँ तुम्हारे पीछे मैं.
I think you are going to take care of that. So it's a problem that you are going to create and you are going to solve.
Solve is fine. अच्छा, तो yeah, $15 you said.
Yes. So the idea is because the number is not important, but I think what's really important is what my father has always taught me. Nothing is too big or too small. If you have to clean the floor. Just do it. $15. It's not like 15 is valuable over here or something I would like to focus on. But
so how long did your journey with iIntellect last in Ep8, and by the end of that journey, what was your business profile like?
So Ep8, I think we left Ep8 in 2019, which is quite recent.
2 साल पहले की बात कर रहे हो.
And I think we
right before COVID hit us.
Yes, and I think it was very fortunate for us. That we moved to Islamabad, but I think we have just jumped a lot. So I would like to share this because I think this is important. $15 and another small client. So this period in my life I call this grind. Achha. And we were discussing your grind at some point as well. I think everybody goes through the grind. And then everything.
My grind is still continuing.
So I would say the grind, that was the grind. So small clients, very
myth of Sisyphus की तरह मेरा वो grind खत्म नहीं हो रहा.
No, I think you're doing good now.
चले, अच्छा.
So yeah, so that was the grind period, and then I think in 2014, by the time 2014 happened, 2015, I think we got some very good clients. And at one point we were developing
for these clients again, for our audiences, what was the work that you were doing?
Primarily initially website development, that was very basic stuff, some SEO, some designing stuff as a company. So we were primarily in services business.
Yeah.
And at one point I think the major breakthrough was when our iIntellect, our agency was awarded the best agency award in London in 2013 by People Per Hour, which is again another freelancing forum.
Wow.
So we were agency of the month. I think that was for the month of August. I still remember, and that was kind of our big day actually for the company. And I think I clearly remember at some point we had 250 websites going on at some point as a company, but they were very small projects. But at the same time, because they were small, we had to do the in
volume. Yeah.
So volume, yes, volume was kind of our thing back then. But by 2014, 2015, we had fewer clients, much better clients who were paying much better for our services, and I think we jumped from being a website design only company.
Been with me throughout my student life. अच्छा जी, आप एक stroll पे हैं.
So we were like, it was a late night drive, very typical of Hollywood boys.
Yes. And sober late night drive. Yes.
Reflecting on life and everything in between, and discussing ideas left and right. But I clearly remember, Nabil was very
passionate about your work.
Yes, he was like dude, you need to move to Islamabad.
Oh.
Because you will do much better.
So there's always this one friend who gives you the best of advice, does not apply that advice to himself, is Nabil.
Yes, so I think he was very gracious and Adil was also very convincing.
Adil is always the reasonable one.
Yes, so Adil was very reasonable, and I think, well, I had that all the time in my mind, but I think that was the moment that was like, okay, let's go for it. And Adil actually facilitated our move to NUST campus as well. He was very kind enough to do that. Yes.
Acha, wow. So we'll come to NUST. So you arrive in Islamabad and you have this space in NUST?
No, it was obviously we were planning for this, but at one point it became like something that might happen, might not. So we were looking at different offices at Jinnah Avenue.
Thoda sa mujhe, so you arrive at NUST when? NUST happened when?
Again, I think it was October.
October of 2020?
2019 actually.
29. So
yes.
आप इस्लामाबाद मूव हुए तो नस्ट आ गया ना महीने डेढ़ बाद.
So I didn't move to NUST directly. I actually rented some apartments because I didn't know the place back then. I was told the 15 is another thing, so we had a few apartments in there. So like
Alpha Squad.
Yes.
When does it come into the picture? और थोड़ी सी हमें Alpha Squad का. So you're one of the board members here.
Yes, that is correct.
And there's another board member.
Yes.
Who's the same partner who's been in this journey with you throughout. His name is Saad.
Yes.
And there's another partner of yours.
His name is Brian. He's in California. So it's the three of you on the board. Yes.
And Alpha Squad is the company's name.
That is correct.
And employs how many people?
As of today, the head count is 43. But it's like, the domain in which we are, it's always people are coming and going all the time. That's, I think,
That's just your industry, but?
An industry has it, yes.
Yeah, industry has it. Acha. So, Alpha Squad ka thoda sa, just tell the audience, tell the viewers, the kind of work you're doing. You're one of the 1% in the world. You yourself, you're the only Pakistani to have made, as per Upwork, north of $1 million.
Yes.
So you are in that very exclusive club.
Yes.
Some of that is with your company Alpha Squad, and some of that is your own.
Yes.
So just take some time and tell us about your journey at the Alpha Squad, and once you're way past your grind and Arsalan Kamar right now.
Yes, Alhamdulillah. So first of all, very grateful, very blessed. I would start with why Alpha Squad happened. Like, we had a thing going on. So I would say, as I've told this before, we were young and stupid. So the more we grew as a company, it stopped making sense to me. Like, what is I and what is intellect? It just became very lame very quickly.
Meme Lord is not lame at all.
Yes. At least from where I stand, it's a very prestigious thing actually. I would take it as a compliment.
Okay.
So CEO, Meme Lord, I picked Meme Lord, like with my eyes closed.
Chalo, theek hai.
Chalo,
I intellect.
Yes, so I intellect all of a sudden wasn't making sense. And like we had a thing going on and we did good. So, but I think 2016, 17, 18 and 19, because we had to deal with so much volume, and I think that made us very tough in this domain. We kind of became specialists for emergencies, and that is where the name Alpha, I was telling you this the other day as well, it's not the alpha male or alpha wolf thing, it's actually the other way around. It's the alpha, the one who's brought in the first place. So
the first responders actually. So you've got some crazy thing going on, you call the Alpha Squad, and that's where the idea of Alpha Squad comes to play. And because that was becoming a thing, we were getting called upon whenever some projects, like you have a deadline. When you say called upon,
yes,
you in your clientele and client portfolio,
yes,
Fortune 500,
yes,
some of the major companies there are your clients right
yes,
now. Yeah.
So yes, we have been blessed to work with some Fortune 500 companies. Like,
drop the names.
like Toyota North America, Lexus North America, GS1. We have Warner Brothers, Comcast, Charter, Sirius XM, and then some very big organizations. I won't drop their names.
In Pakistan as well, people that can't be named, you've sort of provided services to them.
Yeah, but that was before I started, before we got international, I would say.
Achha,
so we don't work with the Pakistani market anymore because I think it has a long way to go. They have to improve quite a few things at the very core level. I think businesses are not ready to completely digitally
in terms of your clientele, by and large, it's from US and Europe.
Europe, I would say mostly United States and partially from Europe. Right now, the biggest e-learning platform in Netherlands actually is our client. I can't drop the name right now, but we have developed the entire platform and we are still maintaining it for that particular client.
There's a specific reason why he's mentioned e-learning platform, because there's somebody in this room who's trying to tinker with the e-learning platform and is going nowhere with that.
No, so Amar is actually doing an e-learning platform.
So where's Alpha Squad placed right now?
Alpha Squad is our main office is in San Diego. That's where the magic of sales happen. In San Diego, California. Brian actually is completely responsible for that. As far as the execution of those projects, servicing those clients or the products, it's right now in NUST, but I think we have run out of space in the NUST campus that was allocated to us. So we are in the process of expanding within Islamabad actually. Yes.
And probably add to the headcount also.
Yes, absolutely. So this place we are in, actually, I think we have filled it already. So we are thinking to not like move out, but extend our office within Islamabad somewhere else.
Some of your personal accomplishments, how far you've come from that grind?
I would say getting involved with a lot of people, training them, teaching them. I think touching people's life in a meaningful manner, that has always been something I'm very proud of, or I would say something that gives me satisfaction. So I think it's very safe to say over the years I was blessed to train over hundreds of people actually.
Wow.
Who are doing very good right now, most of them at least. I see them making the progress. I see them at very good places, and it's like a sense of an accomplishment for me. So for me, more and I think providing good for my family. And I always say, if you want to change the world, change from yourself first, then your family, then your extended family, then your friends, and then you can think about changing the country and this and that. So I think so far I've reached up till my family, and to somehow.
What will you tell young people, young audiences, not just from Burn Hall, but there will be young people watching you.
Yes.
Is it all right to dream big in a country like Pakistan? Because you
absolutely. I think where we are mostly losing the ground is we are so much stuck with the convention or stuck up with the convention that we forget that anything is possible, if you're like up for it. So my cousins, my friends, my younger cousins, they approach me all the time, bhai, should we be doing this degree? Should we do CS this? I'm not anti-degree. I always say, if your parents can afford it, close your eyes and enroll in a university. That's once in a lifetime experience, and you shouldn't be missing out on that. But if your parents or if your family or if you can't afford it, you must absolutely look for alternatives, because now you're risking so much into a university or in an education, but you're like going there for the wrong reason. It's not, the degree won't earn you money. It's just an experience, in my opinion. It's like, even if you're learning a lot, it's again a learning. It's not a skill at the end of the day.
Where from here, Arsalan, यहाँ से आपको आपकी ये जर्नी कहाँ लेके जा रही है?
I don't know, but I think only upwards. I don't know where the next destination is. all I know is I need to keep on climbing. I can't stop. It's not in me to stop. If I've done this, I have to do more and more and more. So absolutely no clue about the destination, but
it's a beautiful note, ladies and gentlemen. Arsalan, बहुत शुक्रिया. It's not really the destination, it's the journey that is important. And I hope that we've been able to capture this beautiful journey of Arsalan, and Burn Hall is extremely proud of you.
Thank you.
Onwards and upwards. Cheers.
Thank you.